What's quack-a-lacking, guys? I'm a Duck Quack here, and welcome back to another video of That Much. Now, in this video, we're going to be looking at episode 10 of How Much. Now, recently I asked you guys if I should split up these two videos or put them together. Now, most of you actually replied saying that we should keep them separate. This way, those who want to watch both can watch both, and those that only want to watch one side of the video, probably the How Much video, can just watch that without having to be over committed by watching this side of it as well, if you like. So we're going to keep them separate for now and see how it goes. Anyway, the first player we looked at in that video was Sadio Barahino, and we looked at his one-to-watch card. It was about 20,000 coins at the time, and as you can see now, he's about 18,000. I just picked one of these up for myself for 17,500 coins on my Trade to Glory series, just while I was checking the price, just because I feel like he's an absolute steal. Now, you might look at this and think, well, we made a loss on this investment, but we didn't. We should be selling on hype, like I always tell you guys. Now, the first game he started for them, he went up to about 30,000 coins. That's a 50% return of investment before the match has even started. That's when we need to be selling him, just to make guaranteed profit. If you roll the dice and he doesn't perform well and hence he drops, then you're playing the long-term game. You're hoping he gets an inform eventually. But if you're buying him and selling him every week, or whatever player you choose, you're making small profits every week, which quickly add up to that big profit for that one-time chance that you could hit it. It's always safer to play it this way. Again, he's at a price where I feel like he's a great buy. I think Stoke have got Chelsea on the weekend, so if he bags himself a goal in that game, then his price is going to go through the roof. Right, guys, so the second player we looked at in that video was Czech, and he was going for just over 11,000 coins. Now, if we check him now, he's actually for about 9,500 coins. Actually, we're going to grab him. We're going to grab one of these guys because we do need a new keeper in our Premier League-based team. Fabianski just hasn't been doing it for us recently. And at this price, I just can't leave him. Now, if you invested in him at 11,000 coins, the logic and reasoning we use is because Lukaku or Kane could have won the Player of the Month award, and then we'd need a high-rated Premier League team. Well, Kane won it. We didn't need a Premier League team. And as you can see, Czech's dropped a couple of thousand coins in price almost. Based on that, the investment didn't work. And it was a bad investment. We're always going to make mistakes along the way. Luckily, it's not a huge loss. If you picked up 2 or 3 of him, you'll make about 6, 7, 8,000 coin loss at worst after tax, which isn't great by any means, but we're always going to make decisions that are based off potential chances, and they're not going to come true. If you're invested in Czech, I'm sorry, I got it wrong, but hopefully we can make it back on the next one we choose. Right, guys, so the next player we looked at was Socrates, and we looked at his upgraded 85 rated card. Now, when we looked at him, he was selling for about 3,900 coins on Xbox. And again, the logic we used is because of potential Team of the Week SBCs, and on top of that, the potential Bundesliga SBC. Now, if we look at him now, we can pick him up for 3,600 coins. So he's actually dropped about 300 coins. This doesn't mean that this investment was bad. Well, not yet, anyway. Yes, we could have waited and got him for cheaper, but if we do see a Team of the Week SBC hit or the Bundesliga SBC hit, his price will increase. It is still a waiting game. If you waited and you picked him up now, yes, you would have made an extra 300 coins. But buying any player at their absolute bottom is always hard to do. Just like selling at that absolute peak. It's an almost impossible task sometimes. So if you're still holding onto your Socrates, your 85 rated ones, don't give up yet. This could still come good. And if you haven't invested and you think there's potential there, then sure, go for it. He's 3,500 coins here, and that's for an 85 rated centre-back from the Bundesliga. Right, guys, so the last player we looked at was Jaides, the PSG centre-forward. Now, we looked at him for around 20,000, and he's going for about 20,000 coins again. Now, the logic we used on picking him up is they were playing a pretty easy game for them, and that he could get another start. We were wrong, he didn't get another start, but his price did increase to about 25,000 coins on the lead up to the game until the lineup was announced. So you did have a window to make profit, but if I'm honest, it's not the window I would have sold him in because I was planning on him starting. So we could say that this is a failed investment just because he's falling back down, and if you resold him, you'd have lost the value of the tax. Now, it doesn't mean that he's not going to come good at some point, The problem is PSG are playing Lyon on the weekend, so him starting seems a little bit unlikely for me. But if you do fancy that gamble, he is still a fairly cheap one to watch card at 20,000 coins. All in all, when we look at all the players from that video, Berahino was fantastic because of how much he rose on hype. The rest of the players, though, they really didn't come good for us, if I'm honest. And this has probably been our worst set of predictions we've made so far. Like I said earlier, though, we are always going to hit points where we just don't choose the right players. And this is where you guys are hopefully learning from these videos. Sometimes you'll see me mention a player and you'll think, okay, I get that. I understand the logic why we should invest in him. I agree with that. I'm going to invest. And sometimes, hopefully, you'll look at it and say, well, I disagree with that. I can't see him starting, or I just don't see the demand for it, or I don't think that SBC is going to be released, so I'm not going to invest in that one. I can understand why you might think it's a good idea, but it's not for me. And that's what I'm trying to do, is develop you guys. So although I'm giving you suggestions, and hopefully they're coming good most of the time, otherwise I've got a pretty lousy channel going here, then I'm still hoping that you're learning and you're putting your own little twist on it, and you're fully behind the investments you make, as well as I'm behind the investment decisions that I tell you guys about, if you like. Anyway, enough of me waffling. Firstly, thanks so much for watching, guys. If you're still enjoying the series, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment if you've got any questions. I'll drop my Twitter down again in the description, so make sure you follow me there. And a huge thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.